going live with that picture up, huh? We're early.
Well, good. If we're early, it'll take a little bit for folks to get on, so.
I wouldn't go on with that picture.
That was probably the worst thumbnail we ever shot.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, probably the worst
Hopefully you
thumbnail
can
we ever
change
shot.
that.
Well, yeah, I can after it's done. I can do that after it's done. Well, hey, it was way too fast. I should have made a custom thumbnail first. I should have made a custom thumbnail first. You should probably turn the. Thank you. Oh, we got someone commenting already.
No, it's Den.
Well, hey, Den. You're up and around.
How many subs do we have now?
Well, I haven't really looked this morning, but we were at like 92.25
When we went to bed.
when we went to bed last night. Yeah, somewhere around in there. 9,225 subscribers.
Good morning from Susan. Good morning from Katie. Good morning from John. And good morning from another John.
We have two Johns on this morning.
One from Wisconsin and one just says he's got his coffee too.
Cool. So do we.
So do we.
And we have the cups that Dan sent us. Thank you, Dan, again.
Again, we use them every morning.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And this is my third cup of this morning. I drank 2 cups while I was laying in bed this morning, waking up watching YouTube.
Good morning, Lisa.
Lisa? We got several coming on all at once. Cool. We had hoped that we could do this live out on the picnic table, and we're hoping that the sun would be shining, you know, and do it on the picnic table and have the video on the picnic
Greetings
table.
from Idaho.
Idaho. Wow.
And good morning from Key Largo.
That's Jimmy Buffett territory, right? That Jimmy Buffett territory. But anyway, it was raining, so we couldn't
Jason said
set up
hi,
on the.
but I got to go to work. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Jason.
Hope you have a good day.
Yeah, we hope you have a good day, Jason. Yeah, sure enough.
Nice and sunny in Detroit. Well, it rained all night here, pretty much.
Yeah.
Started in about, I don't know, 7-ish.
Yeah, but the really heavy thunderstorm hit us this morning. I would say about 5:30, wouldn't you say, this morning?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, about 5:30 this morning. We got a pretty healthy rain.
Good morning, Gary. Good morning. George?
George?
Yeah, but it's spelled it with a J, so.
Okay. Well, it might be Jorge.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got a different
yeah, I think.
pronunciation. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I've seen Jorge's comments before on some of our videos. So if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, please let us know.
Jason got broke into last night.
Well, and I saw a post about that this morning, Jason.
Into your trailer?
And we'll give you a call after a while, or you call us. That's very disconcerting.
Upsetting.
That's what disconcerting means. I think. I'm trying to use 50-cent words this morning.
Gets into his trailer. All right, we'll call you after a while.
Yeah, we'll give you a buzz after a while. Yeah.
Maybe Ashley has a schoolie. She says it's telling her that it's raining. Because she's got a few roof leaks.
Oh.
It's nothing like a good rain to show you where your leaks are.
Now, who said that?
Katie Ashley.
Okay. Are you in an RV or a cargo? I'm sorry, in a schoolie. Okay. Well, if you can pinpoint where they are, what I would probably use is Lexel. I love Lexel. You can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. Well, I know you can get it at Lowe's. I don't remember seeing it at Home Depot. Lexel, L-E-X-E-L, L-E-X-E-L. It's an elastomer sealer. It's clear in color. But if you can pinpoint where the spot is, you can daub a little bit on there. And the nice thing about Lexel, you can even use it when it's raining. Yeah, that's what I like about it. But anyway, That's what we used to seal up our trailer around because we had several leaks when we brought it home from Georgia, which is common, in my opinion, on a cargo trailer. You're going to have leaks between the seams on the exterior walls.
But we have not had any leaks since.
No, we have not.
Knock on wood.
Not a bit. Yeah.
We were a little concerned when the air conditioner man climbed up on top of our roof and, stood on top of our roof.
Yeah, he had to get up there. Fortunately, he was a light dude. He wasn't heavy like me,
Yeah, but still, it was
still a little...
I was inside when he was up, and I could see it low, and it was like, oh, crap. What are we going to get now?
You said the C word.
Yeah. I sure did. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, but no, we've had we've been in some really heavy rain since then, and we've been looking, and there are no leaks.
Far, so good.
We're very pleased with that. And our air conditioner has been working flawlessly once he got it fixed.
Yes, we're very pleased.
Anyway, we're very tickled about that. And we have been using it quite often.
Well, Dan, we didn't know you when we picked up the trailer in Georgia. That was 3 years ago.
3? Has it been 3?
Picked it up in 2017, so yeah.
Wow. Goodness.
3 years ago.
In November of 2017, wasn't it?
October, actually. But...
October? Okay. All right. In October of 2017. It was the latter part of October, wasn't it?
Yes, it was after the crash show.
So it was almost November.
Yes. We have pictures of it with the leaves that fell out of the maple tree at our house.
Yeah. All covered with leaves and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What we did when we went to pick it up, because, we lived in Northwest Arkansas at the time, we made a little mini vacation out of it, and we took a little time extra and drove on down to Apalachicola, Florida first. And what we wanted to check out down there, we'd heard about this campground. It's a Florida State campground on St. George Island, which is just across the bay from Apalachicola, Florida. And we fell in love with that campground, and that is one of the campgrounds that's on our list to visit when we start headed towards the Gulf Coast. We will definitely be there.
Jack.
Good morning. Good morning. So that is definitely on the list when we start heading towards the Gulf Coast, which if everything goes as planned, September 15th, we will be moseying towards the Gulf Coast, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's our plan right now.
Got part of our reservations made, but not all of them yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna work on that today or tomorrow because
Right.
I have, internet. Come Tuesday, I won't again.
We've really been spoiled here at this campground because we have really good internet right here.
Cell service, internet, woohoo!
Yeah. Someone said that? Or
No, I
are you
said
saying that? Oh, you said that?
Good morning, Rosebud's Travels.
Oh, how are y'all doing this morning? We had a visitor yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Betty Ann. Well, I hope she's watching this morning. Actually, she prefers to be called Betty. I'm sorry.
Well, she told me her friends and family called her
That's
Betty
right, and we are friends and family now. So Betty Ann, there.
She came and sat at our table and brought snacks like,
Yeah.
a vegetable tray and some cut up fruit, and we sat for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours.
Visiting, just having a wonderful time. Now, that doesn't mean if y'all come to visit,
No.
we expect you to bring
No.
a fruit tray or a veggie tray or something like that.
No.
Maybe finger sandwiches.
Oh my goodness. But
Or
it was very nice that she drove all the way over here from Fort Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's 30, 40 miles.
Yeah,
But still,
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
it's a trip. And
She knew
did
we
it-
were in the area.
Did it by herself.
Mhm.
Her kid, her daughter, and her husband called her a time or two and said, "Are you coming home?"
When are you coming home? So anyway, but we had a wonderful visit with Betty Ann yesterday, and we hope to see Betty Ann again. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But this campground, we can't say enough good things about this campground. We haven't been in the river.
We watched 2 or 3 barges, though.
Oh man, we had a big barge come through here yesterday, and we watched it go into the lock and then just kind of disappear. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we can't actually go over there and see it.
Well, I want to make things happen for you, but I do have limitations. If the sign says stop and they have a gate locked with the curly
Wire.
razor wire on top, something
They're probably
tells
kind of
me
serious.
something tells me that they don't want us to go in there. And
Probably.
so, anyway, but that's my job. I'm supposed to, make things happen. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to. People have commented and said, "Bill, don't talk with your hands because you
Talk with your other hand.
Well, my coffee's in that hand. If I start talking with it,
Switch.
what?
Switch.
Switch?
Yeah, switch.
But then I can't talk with this hand, right?
I guess.
Oh, shoot.
Reckon.
Oh, shoot. Anyway, we really appreciate. How many we got on there right now?
28.
28, really? Fantastic. That's pretty good for a Sunday morning.
Yeah,
And,
because it's early for a lot of people, you know, it's an impromptu thing. I've had a couple of people text me, want to know how we made it through the night, and I guess there were storms around us, but all we really had was rain, thunder, but no high wind or anything like that.
After Betty Ann left yesterday evening, we came back out here in the gazebo, and a huge thunderstorm rolled up and lightning real close. And of course, the first thing I think of are these rods, that support this gazebo here.
They're not metal.
But they're not metal.
They're some kind of plastic.
Or graphite or something. There's something like that. They're made out of the same kind of material that tent poles are made out of, or whatever it is. So I'm not really concerned about that. But man, we had some pretty heavy thunder, and rumbled, and then it rained really, really hard. But we stayed dry in here, and we didn't even put up we've got these panels we can put up around the gazebo, and we didn't have them up, and we sure wasn't going to go out and try to put them up while it was raining. She suggested that I do that, but since we weren't getting wet, I didn't see the need.
No, we didn't have Fireball last night. We had a small glass of wine each.
Oh yeah, and we we discovered that wine, Post wine from the Post Winery, which is in Altus, Arkansas. I moved my coffee back.
Thank you.
No, I moved it back.
I see.
But when I'll try to do like this. Okay. Anyway, and we did a little bit of wine tasting, but we settled on the same one that you'd discovered, that you purchased before we ever went to the Post Winery, because we thought it had the best flavor.
No, we didn't have rain since Thursday. What day did the hurricane hit? Wednesday? Or did it hit Thursday?
I think it hit Thursday.
No, it hit shore Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's right.
And
I think
then
so.
we had a little bit of rain, but it cleared out real quick.
Yeah.
And yesterday was just an absolutely beautiful sunny day.
Yeah.
Got a little steamy till the wind picked up just a little bit and blew away some of that humidity.
Mm-hmm.
While Betty Ann was here, it was very pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
So her husband had told her that it was supposed to start raining yesterday evening, but we had not been keeping up with the weather. So,
well, we started watching the radar while she was here, because I
Yeah.
didn't want her driving back in a heavy thunderstorm or anything like that. And I think she hopefully, I don't know if she's watching or not this morning, but hopefully she was able to make it home without getting into the heavy storm.
Yes, Katie, the Gazelle Gazebo is very, very nice. It does fold up to about a 8-inch square, maybe a foot square, and about 5 foot long.
Yeah.
But I do know that storage is a premium.
Yes.
Believe me, everything we get at this point, it's like, okay, but where are we going to put it?
Right. Yeah, and
Because everything has to have a home.
that's right.
And we still have a few things in the van that need to be cold.
Yeah. Yeah. It's time for me to decide that there's certain things that I don't need to carry with me. Some of my precious stuff, I don't really need to have it with me. That was a fake.
I know.
Fake cry.
Everyone knew it was fake.
They did?
Yes.
I thought it was pretty
35
convincing.
of them knew that you were faking.
I thought it was pretty convincing.
No.
Oh.
Go back to acting school.
You ought to see me when she tries to put eye drops in my eyes. And she enjoys it. She enjoys whenever I've got a bloodshot eye or something like that. It's like, come here, Sonny, I'm going to put this in your eye.
Oh, whatever.
Really? But anyway, I don't like having eye drops put in my eyes. So.
Did you have anything in specific to talk about today?
Not really. We've really touched on a lot of this stuff before about our travels. And the cargo conversion is doing wonderful. Everything is working as it should. We haven't really had any issues at all.
Like I said the other day, there's a few little things like, okay, when you live in this small of a space, I've noticed that I need to touch up some paint.
Yeah.
And of course I'm looking at redoing my countertop. Betty Ann mentioned yesterday about countertop paint. And so I've been watching some YouTube videos on that to see if that might be something we would want to do. But you know, it's just like in your sticks and bricks. You have to touch up the paint from time to time. You have to, Lord knows, we have to clean from time to time.
I guess one thing that I might mention that we really never talked about, we did a video several months back and just covered it briefly. But
good morning, James from Texas.
Hey, James. How are you doing? But we've noticed since we've started doing this full time, and we see a lot of RVers traveling, towing their trailers, and when we were park attendants, we would, all these people would come in. There's a long comment there.
Hello from Southwest Florida.
Oh, wow. It's pretty hot and humid down there, I imagine, right now.
The Gazelle Gazebo.
Yeah, the Gazelle. There's two major companies out there. One is Clam, and the other one's Gazelle, and ours is the Gazelle. The Gazelle is a little less expensive than the Clam, and I think the Gazelle may have some features. The Clam may have some features that the Gazelle does not.
Sure it does.
Yeah.
But this suits us, and it's easy to set up, easy to take down.
We're very pleased.
Very pleased.
Very pleased. We did have the G6, which is the biggest one, and
loved it.
we absolutely loved it. And it was almost 12 feet across on the inside when it was all set up, which was wonderful. But there's a downside to that when you're traveling to Corps of Engineer campgrounds, and here again we've talked about this in the past. When you're going in blind, you have no idea what your campsite's going to be like. Sometimes you'll have really nice level spots, a wide area, to put up something like that. And other times it'll be a little more cramped, as far as obstacles in the way, like a lot of trees and things like that. So there were times that we could not use the G6 because of its size, and fit where we needed to have it fit. So we gifted that to someone else, and then we got us the G5, which is a little bit smaller. And I think across we have an 8-foot, we have a round rug that's 8 foot in diameter, and it fits almost perfectly inside.
I didn't put the rug out this time because we knew it was going to rain off and on.
Yeah.
And it just gets wet, and who wants a nasty rug to transfer?
But it's just like where we have it set right now. If we still had the G6, the bigger one, we couldn't have put it up because it wouldn't fit.
Too many trees.
And
which is a bad thing to have, right? No.
But we're pretty sure that there will be we'll have a lot more opportunities to utilize the G5 than we would have had with the G6, and we're already finding that to be true. So if you're looking at the two sizes and go in there and look at Gazelle and and look at the G5 and the G6. The G6 is the biggest one. They also make two different sizes of tents, I believe, maybe three, and those will have the T in front of them. I think they have a T4 and a T5, but I'm not positive about that. But their tents that they have actually have a floor in them that can be taken out. You can unzip the floor out of it to pull it out, to clean it off, and then put it back in and zip it back in.
And there are times that would be nice.
And that's right, yeah. The Gazelle Gazebos do not have a floor, as far as I know, unless if they've come up with something since.
There's no attach points.
No, there's no
it would
attach
just
points.
be a tarp. We have put
Right.
a tarp down under it.
We have.
But that doesn't really seem to help when you're tracking in little gravel or you're trapping in.
No.
Right here, it's pine tree needles
Yeah.
everywhere
And little pine cones.
and little pine cones.
Yes.
Everywhere. But we are living outdoors,
Right.
so it's okay.
But we love it. I mean, we spend a lot of time, since we've been here, we spend a lot of time inside here. When it comes to bugs, the mesh on this is really tight. All the mesh screening around it. And there's no bugs can penetrate that. The no-see-ums, you've heard people joke about the no-see-um bugs. They don't get through this. So we don't have any issues with that. I'm sorry I had an itch on my nose. I love it. But there are trade-offs, and we've talked about this before. There are trade-offs with that. When the screen is as tight as it is, then of course it's not going to allow as much airflow. So you got to decide, okay, do I want more airflow or do I want to keep the bugs out? And
I have seen on YouTube where they have put a little portable air conditioner by just lifting up one of the sides and sticking it under it. We have not gone to that point.
No. Staples and
Probably
Tents,
will not.
we follow them a little bit. They have a Gazelle Gazebo, Staples and Tents, and but they showed how they go glamping sometimes, and they had a Gazelle Gazebo set up with a rug, and it was the big one, and they had a bed set up inside it, and had a portable air conditioner set up where the exhaust was outside with the air conditioner, but just the intake was inside. And they just simply lifted up one side, and shoved it up underneath, and then they stuffed something around it. And we have seen a lot of folks using air conditioners like that in their tents when we were park attendants. So a lot of the tent campers would carry those air conditioners with them and use them with their tents. So something to consider possibly.
Good morning. Good morning, Betty. It's Betty.
Oh, hi,
G.
Betty. Oh, who?
Nana, Betty.
Oh, Nana Betty. Okay. Yeah. And we really enjoy your comments too, Nana Betty. We really, really do. But back to what I was talking about a moment ago.
John Duke says the sound of the rain makes him want to take his tent back out. You're braver souls than me.
Yeah.
I think the sound of the rain on the top of our cargo trailer is just fine.
Yeah. She'll go with that.
I'll go with that.
But we could spend the night in this. We could, if we had
Yes,
to.
if
Yeah.
I had to.
If we had to, we could. Sure enough. Sure enough. But we've had, and we'll mention one more thing about the Gazelle Gazebo. When it's anchored down properly, and we did a video a while back about this and how we anchor it down. One thing, if you buy a Gazelle, and I would think maybe even if you bought the clam, I'm not sure because I don't know what kind of accessories the clam comes with. But let's be honest, with the Gazelle Gazebo, the little tent stakes that come with it and the little tie downs are junk. They're just purity junk. Throw them away. And I went to Academy Sports and got some regular tent stakes that are really like giant nails, and which work great in this soil. Now, when we get down to real sandy soil. All right, we're back now. Hopefully
Mine
we're
are
back.
Watching.
Okay, sorry.
Hope we didn't lose everybody.
Yeah. We had 40 some and then we went down. Don't know what happened, but I did a speed check okay. I did a speed check while we were down, and I showed my upload speeds to be well over 20 megabytes per second. And we've had good live streams with 10 or so. So who knows? Who knows what happened? Oh, I hate that when that happens, though. Yeah. Don't know what it was. It was just a momentary thing. So then there are people commenting. So Deb's trying to get back in and find it. So hang on so she can read the comments. We can't see the comments from this far away. All we can do is apologize for whatever happened. But my internet here is really awesome. Once you back out of everything completely, there, then try to go back in. Okay.
Hello from Wisconsin. All
There.
right. Well, Banjo Benson, you missed all the fun. We went
Yeah.
off for a while and came back while you were out walking your dogs.
Yeah. All of a sudden, everything just quit, and couldn't figure out why. And I went in and did a speed check, and my download speeds here are absolutely fabulous, over 50 megabytes per second. Upload speeds are in the low 20s right now. So something happened to interrupt.
I don't have a video on how to get a cam post position, but you can go to probably Arkansas recreation.gov, and I believe that there's a place in there where you can contact us, or there's a place that you can look at, go to different screens, toggle around, but I'm sure that it's out there available somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's pretty easy. You can just simply Google.
Where we were at, it was a simple matter because they had a local office.
Yeah.
But there is a place and a way to do it. It's just, you just have to go out and look for careers with the Corps.
There might be,
The
go in and
COE.
look, the COE, but
Yeah.
www.recreation.gov, and I'm sure if you scroll down far enough, there'll be a spot there for that. Careers, there might be a section for careers, but you can tap on the little horizontal lines up on the upper left, which is your menu, and something may pop up right there and help you get to where you need to go to find out what to do.
Right.
We got ours a little different procedure. We got to know the Rangers real well, and they just plain offered us the position, is what happened there.
Ocala National Forest, that's on my bucket list.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
The problem I have seen, and maybe I am wrong, and maybe you can help us understand this, Stephen, is in the Ocala National Forest, it doesn't appear that they have campgrounds with electric. Now, maybe we're wrong. Maybe there are some, and if you could let us know about that, that would be totally awesome.
Yeah. We don't have solar set up. I've got it set up where I could do solar, but I only have one 100 amp hour battery. And the only thing, of course, that it runs, now I do have a way that I could hook up an inverter to it, but the only things that the battery actually run is our lighting, our water pump, and
Max fan.
our max fan, our max air fan, and that's it. But I did figure out a way that I could set up an inverter and go to a larger battery bank and basically light up the whole trailer by doing that. But then what I would want to do is go into the panel and kill certain things that we know we wouldn't be trying to run while we're boondocking like that.
Right.
So getting water and things like that is no issue because of the way we have a freshwater transfer system set up with the van. We would just simply go find water somewhere, fill up the tank in the van, and back up to the trailer and run a hose over to it and throw a switch, and we got water again in our 50-gallon freshwater tank. So
We are looking into getting a generator
Mhm.
For situations like that.
Yep.
We just have not budgeted. we're saving.
Well, I'm also waiting for Harbor Freight to have that one good sale. I know everybody's going to say, get a Honda, get a Honda, get a Honda. And it's very simple. We can't afford a Honda. I want a 3,500 watt generator with a 30 amp outlet on it. And the one that seems to be what everybody's raving about right now is one that Harbor Freight, of all people, sell, called the Predator.
Steve, if you would send
It's
me
an
some
inverter generator.
information on that on our email at
iRideTinyHouse.
iRideTinyHouse@gmail.com
Yeah,
and tell me a little more information about this campground, what it's called and all that.
Yeah.
Would appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
All one word, iRideTinyHouse@gmail.com. That's how you can get in touch with us and email us through there.
And a Jackery might work for what we want to do. It would not run my hot water tank, however.
Well, neither would a battery bank. You'd have to take cold showers. I'd have to have
Well,
a
sometimes
huge.
that's not a bad thing.
No,
I mean, because of where we might be.
that's correct.
It just depends
That's
on
correct.
the
Because we have no
outside
propane.
temperatures.
Yeah. A Jackery's not going to run your hot water tank, nor would, I mean, even if I had 6 batteries, 6 batteries in a battery bank in a 3,000 watt inverter, if it ran my hot water tank at all, it would deplete it really, really quick. It would deplete
Greetings from
the
North
batteries.
Carolina. Hi, Stephen from North Carolina. And Stephen in Florida says he will send us that information.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Awesome.
Thank you, Steve. But I kind
We
of
got
wanted.
the gazebo through Amazon.
Uh-huh.
We just went to Amazon and ordered it, had it shipped straight from there.
Mm-hmm.
As y'all know, we do a lot of shopping at Amazon.
Yeah. I think it was around 2:30, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
For the G5.
I don't remember.
It's been a while since we did it, but just go in there at Amazon and type in Gazelle Gazebo, and
Someone else is
it'll pop up.
buffering again. Don't know what's wrong today. Probably just have to call it here in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll probably call it here in a little bit. If it's buffering, evidently our
It ebbs and flows,
yeah,
evidently.
evidently it's ebbing and flowing today, and it might have something to do with the cloud cover and things like that. So we'll try it here for a little bit longer, and then we'll probably go ahead and shut her down. But we apologize for the buffering, but we really thought we had a really good.
We have no control of that.
Yeah, yeah. Blame T-Mobile. It's all T-Mobile's fault.
Banjo Vengeance said it could just be the rain.
Well, that's what we're wondering. Yeah, that's what we're wondering. But one thing I wanted to talk about for a little bit, and to me it's very, very important, and Deb thinks that I'm a little bit on the overkill side, but I carry a compressor in the van, and it's a regular pancake compressor, 6-gallon, so I do have to have 120 volt power to power it. But one thing that we always do before we head out for our next destination, no matter what, is I run around and check all the tires, every single tire on the van and in the on the trailer, and I make sure that they are all exactly where I want them to be. And sometimes, depending on the time of the year and the weather, sometimes the pressures will drop a little bit. And I carry 70 pounds of air in the tires on my van. They are regular, I think they're 10-ply, truck type tire. And then on the trailer, we're still running the tires that came on the trailer when we got it, but the tread wear is super, super even, and we got tons of tread left. But I carry in the trailer, I found that the sweet spot seems to be right around 60 pounds on the tires on the trailer. The tread wear is even. I don't have any cupping going on or anything like that. I do intend to get a tire pressure sensor system at one point, but until then, I just have to depend on the old-fashioned way, and double check it. Periodically, if we've been traveling long distances, I will pull over at a rest stop or something and literally go out and just touch the tires and see if they feel hot. And the last time I did that, they were cool to the touch. There was no heat building up in either one of the tires. But another thing that we do as well is we make sure that the trailer is setting level with the van. We don't use. Intend on getting a set at some point in the future, but we are not using an equalizer hitch. Our tongue weight is roughly around 500 pounds or so. We have a class 4 receiver hitch on the van, which is rated at 1,000 pounds tongue weight and 10,000 pounds towing. But I do have airbags on the van, and I have found that the sweet spot with the airbags when I'm hooked to the trailer is 30 pounds on my airbags. So I double check all that before we leave. Now when we get set up where we're going to be for a few days, I air down the airbags on the van to around 15 pounds, and that seems to be just about perfect when we're running empty. We're never running empty though, but
when we're without the trailer.
When we're without the trailer. But quite honestly, with the setup that we have, the van handles better hooked up to the trailer than it does without, and it's really a pleasure to drive with it. My van is a 2004 model, And I'm a Chevy guy, always have been, although we've owned all brands of cars. We even owned Ramblers. If all you remember American Motors, we even had Ramblers at one time. But on this Chevy that we have, it had 190,000 miles on it when we bought it. It's an '04 model, and it's got a 373 rear gear in it, for those of you that know what I'm talking about. The transmission is the 4L80E, which is the 4-speed automatic transmission that's based on the old Turbo 400 transmission. Only it's 4 speeds instead of 3, which is what the old Turbo 400 was, which is pretty much bulletproof. And I found that when I'm towing the trailer, I can actually run it in what we would call high gear, and supposedly not hurt the transmission. But I found that when I'm towing a trailer, because I hardly ever get over 65 miles an hour anyway, I pull it down into third gear and run it that way. Because if I go ahead and try to run it in high, especially where we've been traveling lately, which is roads like this, you know, up and down and roller coaster roads, if I just pull it down in third and leave it there, it works a whole lot better, and the engine actually runs cooler that way, and fuel mileage seems to be better. The only time that I pull it on up into regular drive is when we get out on an interstate, which we've only been on an interstate briefly, maybe twice since we started, and it was brief. The trip that we make from here back to Beaver Lake, starting next Tuesday, will be the longest run we've ever done on an interstate.
I think it's 3.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's like a 3-hour trip, I think.
I don't see any comments popping up, so this must be really boring to some.
It is boring.
I'm sorry. But anyway, it's something that I thought we might visit about for a little bit. We do have folks now and then ask us questions about that. Right now, the van has 225,000 miles on it, and it runs like brand new. Of course, when I bought the van, I went ahead and I like to fix things before they break. It's weird, isn't it? But I went ahead and put a new radiator in it right after we got it. Went ahead and put a new fuel pump in it right after we got it. We've done several other things as well. You know, put an auxiliary transmission cooler on it. So many things that we did, but the van performs flawlessly and tows the trailer flawlessly, and everything is working great.
Yes, Carrie Jo, I can set the gazebo up all by myself, except you pull out the sides and then you walk inside and you have to push up on the ceiling one, and I am not tall enough to push it as high as it needs to go. I would have to have a little step ladder if I was doing it by myself. And the same thing when I'm taking it down. You pull the ceiling down and I can't reach it. But other than that, it's not hard and it's not heavy. It's just this. I seem to be height challenged. I'm 5'6", but I'm still just not quite tall enough.
So that's my job. I walk in and pop it out, and then my job also is anchoring it down around the perimeter of it is what I do.
There's lots of Casey. There's lots of YouTube videos out there about how to set one up. We did not do one because there are so many other ones. But honestly, it's an easy thing. Once you start, you just kind of walk around and pop out each side, and all of a sudden it's standing, and Bill comes in and pushes up the ceiling, and then it's just a matter of anchoring it, which is, you know, just a matter of driving stakes in at what angle.
Around a 45-degree angle on your stakes, you know.
You know, and then we're done. I mean,
yeah. And
15 minutes
your
maybe?
cable up to it. Yeah.
Maybe, and that's probably...
Yeah.
It probably doesn't even really take that long.
Now, the first time you set it up will be a learning process. It'll take you a little bit longer, but after you figure it out, the thing about it is don't be afraid of it. I mean, take it out of the package, lay it out on the ground, and look at it, and just start grabbing stuff. And it'll take you a little bit the first time around. It's a learning process, but after that, it'll be a snap every time. You know, it's like falling off a log.
John says Jan hates the interstate because she can't take enough pictures. That's true.
We understand that. Yes. We understand that. That's for sure. Yeah.
You could put a short cord up there to pull it down, but to push it up, you'd have to have a stick, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you could get a 1-inch dowel rod and one of those rubber tips, like a chair tip, you know, and put that on there. Well, you actually have something like that.
I do.
Yeah. Because I
hadn't thought about using it.
So you don't need me at all.
I guess not.
Don't. She needs me. She needs me. But
But that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
yeah, yeah.
Because I
it's a
usually
great
just say,
idea.
Bill, I'm ready for you. Get over here and push
Yeah.
this up.
I say, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just as soon as I pick the tongue of this trailer up and move it over a little bit, I'll be right over there, ma'am.
Whatever.
And I flex my muscles, say, is there anything else I can do for you, ma'am?
Oh, yes, our view.
Yeah.
It is, as you can see, the river looks like glass right now. Because, well, I know it's flowing, but it doesn't look like it this morning.
Yeah.
It's just really pretty here. We had
Yeah.
more of those white cranes out there this morning, even when it was raining. And I guess I have never actually seen a pure white crane. All the ones we have that I'm familiar with are kind of a blue-gray color.
Yes.
Which maybe those aren't cranes. Maybe those are blue herons. Or
I don't know.
We don't know our birds.
We don't know our birds and we don't know our trees. We know what a pine tree is, and we learned last week while we was at Blue Mountain Lake what actually a cypress tree is.
The only problem we have with raccoons is I have a small trash can that I keep outside just for trash that we happen to accumulate while we're outside, so we don't have to keep going back in and out the house. And if we're grilling and I put the meat packaging in that trash can, then the raccoons will come visit me overnight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't really have a problem.
So we've learned to deal with that in other ways. You know, we haven't had that issue recently.
Southern Wisconsin has been very dry. I'm sorry to hear that. It was getting a little dry here, but it's made up for it since the hurricane.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, the roughest weather we've had is after the hurricane's already been gone and moved on up north and east. The roughest weather we had, I would say, was last night and this morning.
Right.
You know.
Fishing on this river, yes. The guy next door to us was actually using, and I never saw him pull anything out, but he was actually using the heavy-duty
ocean fishing
gear. Rods.
Yeah.
He actually had a little PVC thing he had made, so it was a pole holder.
Yeah.
He had it all fixed up, but I never actually saw him pull anything out.
And we saw several bass boats running up and down the river here. So I know they've got their favorite fishing spots. And the thing about it is here, when we see a body of water now, if we were overlooking Beaver Lake right now, even today, there would be a lot of boats out there. But on a sunny day, there would be 20 boats working right out here, all different kinds of boats.
Be so loud you wouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah, we wouldn't hardly be able to talk. But here, you know, because it's the river here, we saw maybe 2 or 3 bass boats yesterday. We did see 2 guys on jet skis yesterday zip by.
I saw another couple pulling
they were out tubing. Yeah.
Tubing, and then we saw 2 or 3 barges with the tugboats, which is interesting. That's cool.
This campground does have a boat ramp, nice boat ramp, and ample parking for trucks and trailers over there. So I'm certain a lot of folks utilize it for that. And but I really didn't expect to see pleasure boats out there, and we didn't see pleasure boats. We saw one boat, and that was a pleasure boat, and they were tubing. And then of course we had the bass boats. But because the river is like pretty smooth with very little chop at all, the bass boats, when they get going, they can go ahead and just open them right up. And man, they were flying, you know, when they would want to go to their next spot. So, anything else there? We need to.
No, not really. Just commenting on other things we've talked about.
Yeah. Did we gain some?
We have 57.
Wow, fantastic. We're tickled that everybody's on. We didn't really expect to have that many on this morning, and we appreciate that. We really do. But this particular campground, I don't know if we actually mentioned it, but this is Ox Ark, AUXARC, 2 words, Ox Ark. And it's just right across the Arkansas River from Ozark, Arkansas, which is a town of around a little less than 4,000 people population, roughly. But you're only like 30 to 45 minutes away from Fort Smith. And so if you needed to get things that you might not be able to find here in Ozark, you're not that very far down the road. We did talk about this a little briefly when we did our test live stream a couple of nights ago. The Walmart here is not the place to go buy groceries.
No, we learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Do any of the COEs have laundry facilities? No, not really. Now, when we stayed at Brady Mountain,
on Lake
They
Ouachita.
did have a laundry facility connected to a little store, and because they had a little community out there.
Yeah, it was owned by the marina, I would
But
say. Yeah,
number one, it didn't have a coin machine. It said it took debit cards or credit cards, but it would only take it one time.
yeah,
So consequently, I had enough quarters to do a couple of loads, and then I had to take them back to the trailer and hang them up everywhere outside. But it was one of those hot days, so it didn't take
yeah.
very
It didn't
long.
take long for everything to dry.
But it was a little disappointing,
Yeah.
because we thought, well, cool, we're real close here, and that's wonderful. But laundry is not difficult to find. When we get where we need to do laundry, we try to, go 2 weeks if we can. When we get to where we need to do it, we just Google laundromat near me, and Google takes me to the closest one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that hasn't really been an issue. And if the closest one is not, like, we were at one place last year where it took me to one that was not air conditioned in the middle of the summer, I don't think so.
no.
So we Googled again and found another one. So,
But the last campground we were at, that laundromat, it was like 5 miles away in this little town of Plainview, Arkansas, if I remember correctly,
Yes.
where that was. Yeah. But we didn't need to use it because we were doing fine on laundry. I like these shirts. I get them at Academy Sports, and they're not expensive. And they, when we do wash them, we don't have to worry about ironing them. We can just hang them up, and they dry without wrinkles, and things like that. And then I get lightweight pants at Walmart to wear. I have a few pair of jeans, but mostly I wear these other lightweight type pants, and they're easier to wash and they dry faster and all that stuff. And then I have my nice looking jeans for special occasions, things like that.
yes, John, we follow 2 or 3 different YouTubers in the UK that flew the canals.
Oh yeah,
The long boats, narrow boats, I believe
narrow
is what they
boats.
call them.
Yeah,
And we find that quite interesting.
Yes.
We will probably never personally see it, but it's a unique, interesting lifestyle. Not much different than what we're doing, except theirs is, 7 foot wide and
actually,
50 feet long.
actually, I think their maximum they can be is like 6 or just
Okay.
a tad over 6 foot
And
wide.
so they've got long, narrow boats,
Mhm.
and it is interesting.
And
If
I
you
think
do
they have a
enjoy
speed
watching
limit
that.
of 3 or 5 miles an hour on those canals that run all through England. What's really cool is when they have the viaducts that actually go and cross over
Yeah.
a highway.
So if
And,
y'all haven't
yeah.
checked out
Yeah.
the narrow boats or the canals in the UK, check it out. They're really interesting YouTubes.
One of the guys that we watch, he calls his channel Cruising the Cut. Cruising the Cut. And anyway, we really
interesting.
enjoy watching him, and it's really interesting. And
Enjoy that.
we didn't even know that something like that was out there, but evidently they have these canals all over the UK, and you can travel just about anywhere,
Of course, the United States has the intercoastal waterways.
which I would love to. I wonder if we could kayak that whole thing.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, and we can't put our trailer on pontoons.
Man.
I can't do any of that. Sorry. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I hear you. I know. But yeah, which John was that? Was that John Duke that asked us that
No,
question?
no, it was John Clinton.
Oh, really? Oh, hey, yeah,
Eastern Oklahoma. Good morning, Roxy.
from Eastern Oklahoma. I grew up in Miami, northeastern Oklahoma. If you know where that's at, and I'm sure you probably do. The home of Northeastern A&M College. It's a junior college there. And actually, it's the home of Steve Owens, who was a Heisman Trophy winner way back when. And I went to school with his younger brother, Tinker Owens.
No,
He was-
Gina, I have not been painting because, to be honest, I'm out of blank canvas. I have got to make it to a arts and crafts store, which we have been not close to one. But when
Yeah.
we get back to Northwest Arkansas, of course, I will be visiting Hobby Lobby. We have a list this long of things we're going to
yeah.
have to do.
Yeah, for that brief 2 weeks, we're going to be, going to
Now, I
Academy
do have
Sports.
some paintings finished that I've already, some you've seen, some you haven't, because I went ahead and used up all the supplies I had. But for the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, I've been not able to paint. So, there you are. Memphis, Tennessee, good morning.
Good morning, Memphis, Tennessee. And yes, I do play guitar now and then, in case anybody wonders.
Nobody cares. No. We're losing people. It's 57 now. You're going down.
Oh, no. I mentioned that, now we lost one. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we go?
I think we're fine.
Yeah.
We've got Bill's working on our next video about our last campground, which was
Blue Mountain Lake.
Mm-hmm. And be looking for that. We're going to get that up, and then next week we'll get one up about this one, and then of course we'll talk about everything that's happening in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, while we're there for that brief period of time before we move on.
Don't run out of strings, he said.
Oh, don't run out of strings?
On your guitar.
Yeah. Okay. I have 2 fresh sets in the guitar case, and one I need to put a new set on the guitar, but I'm too lazy to do it.
Do you need an escape window in your trailer in order to stay in the state park? Well, I don't think so, but we've got 2 egress doors, one on both ends.
Yeah.
So it's easier to get out of the door than a window.
I think
so.
they were asking that question if the state park, the basis behind that question was, do the state parks require that?
That I don't know.
And that we don't know. That's something you might want to check out. I don't think there would be an issue. I know that there's a lot of cargo trailer conversions that go camping at Corps of Engineers. Now these are federal parks, and a lot of them don't have an egress window. They only have one door. They might have the ramp in the back, but of course at night it's shut. But some of them have made a provision with their cargo conversions so that they can open the ramp from the inside and get it open real quick if they need to get out. But as far as them being inspected and saying, hey, you can't camp here if you don't have two means of egress, I don't know of any situation like that. Not to say that it could be true, but anyway. But it's just a darn good idea to have 2 means of egress.
You gotta have a way of getting out. Yes.
Yeah.
One never knows.
It's just
That's why we
you
have
know.
2 doors in a 16-foot trailer.
Mhm.
So we have quick access to get out. We have a fire extinguisher by each door. So once you get out, you can just reach around the door and grab the fire extinguisher if you need to do so.
And based on our experience in the past, and let's talk about this for a little bit. A lot of folks don't know because they didn't start following us until after we got into building our conversion. But we started out with a motorhome. Our first attempt at this was with a used motorhome that we bought, and when I first saw it, I thought, man, that thing's beautiful and it's been well taken care of and blah, 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 blah. It was a 1989 model Winnebago 28-footer. And as far as I'm concerned, I was in heaven when I stepped into this thing. And we made a deal and we bought it. And we just did little minor cosmetic things on the inside. But during the process of doing these little minor cosmetic things on the inside, I got to see some of the wiring in this thing. And quite honestly, it was frightening to me, the way a lot of it was done. And then I discovered also that there were extra 12-volt wiring circuits ran to certain areas in case folks was to add an option later, an optional 12-volt appliance or whatever. This wiring was coiled up into these hidden compartments. And I didn't really think that much more about it beyond that. And then we were out in it at a campground. I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning and I smelled something funny. And I almost rolled over and went back to sleep, but I thought, no, I better get up and look around. And when I got up and started looking around, I looked back towards the bedroom where Deb was still sleeping, and it was starting to get a little smoky looking in there. So I got her up right quick, and we started looking around to see what it was. Well, we had a little basement area underneath the bedroom, so I went outside to look and see if there was something going on underneath the basement with a flashlight. Well, while I was there, Deb yelled at me, and she said, I found it. And I said, what is it? And she said, it's a fire. And anyway, a fire had broken out in the bedroom,
In the closet.
in the closet, real close to where one of these extra circuits was coiled up in there. And so, fortunately, we got it out. Deb actually thought faster than I did. I was running to the sink with a pan, filling a pan full of water, running back to the bedroom and throwing a little pan of water on the fire. Deb had the wherewithal to go out and unhook the water connection from the motorhome, and then shove it through the side window and handed me the hose, and then we got it out. The insurance company did total the RV, and that's, one thing happened after another, and that's how we ended up building the cargo trailer. But what we discovered was, all we could figure was, evidently, because they did have the wires capped off good on the ends, but in this, the wiring was ran inside a sandwich, which you couldn't get to. And all we figured was that maybe a rodent got in there and chewed some wires and got some wires crossed. Now, those circuits that were just laying up there open should have never had fuses on them, but they did. And all we could figure was the previous owner did not know. And of course, I didn't know. This was my first experience with this kind of thing. So I didn't know to double check all that stuff. So the fuse, though, should have blown, but the fuse did not blow. It melted the housing around the fuse, melted the plastic around it, but that little part that's supposed to burn in two never did burn in two. I had to pull it out with a pair of needle nose pliers. But the point is, and now that one had a emergency egress window at the rear, but of course we never used it. Between the two closets. And of course, when you bust through that window, it was 4 foot to the ground.
No farther than that.
Yeah, but at least 4 foot, maybe further.
4 foot to the bumper.
I'd probably break something trying to get out of that. But the point I'm trying to make is, a fire can break out, and you'll think you have everything covered, and a fire can break out. You need to have more than one way to get out. It's just, let's talk about it. You've got to have another way to get out, one way or another. You've got to figure out another way to get out. Because if you have a fire develop between you and the only door you have, you're in trouble. So we have two doors and then we can get out one way or the other, whichever end, if a fire was to break out. But the next thing that I did, because more than likely, if I have a fire break out in this one, although I was very careful with the way I wired everything, and I've got everything double fused, and I've went through a lot of steps to try to prevent something like this happening. My master cutoff for my 12-volt system is right next to where I sleep. And if we were to get woke up by our smoke alarm, the very first thing that I would do would be to reach in there and kill that master right there.
My job's to run out and flip off the electric.
Yeah. Or I can run to the panel and kill it there, because it's not very far from me right there. But if I had a fire break out on my end of the trailer, because our bed's in the middle, of course I can still reach the 12-volt cutoff. Then we're both going out the other door is what we're going to do. And but we cannot stress that. We don't want to give anybody the impression that it's okay just to have one door, whether it's allowed by the campgrounds or not.
A door, or like we said, an egress.
Or some other form of way to get out.
Yeah.
You just
and smoke alarm.
Oh yeah. Smoke alarms are cheap. $20. Go spend $20 to get you a smoke alarm. Fire extinguishers, $20. Spend $20 to get you a fire extinguisher. If you don't have one, go get one. Preferably two. But anyway, I'm through being daddy and grandpa right now.
Now stop being granddad. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. But I've always said this. One more thing I'll say. If you're not careful, 12 volt can kill you quicker than 120 volt can. It truly can.
And we even have a carbon monoxide, even though we do not have any propane. Because one of our viewers, when we were building the trailer, because we said, we don't need one. And they said, well, what if someone pulls up beside you and leaves their car running all night, or
or someone has a generator going next door.
And puts these fumes inside your trailer. And we thought,
yeah,
another $20 isn't going to hurt.
Nope.
So we've got it, and we just recently put new batteries in all of it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to.
Batteries lasted about a year, a little over a year.
Be safe, and like we said, we have a plan if something was to happen, and we just went over it with you. So
we thought about this over and over. And the reason why we thought about it more so than someone else would because we almost became charcoal briquettes. If I would have rolled over and went back to sleep that night, we wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. That's all there is to it. What else?
Talk about towing of your cargo camper. Well, Wayne, we did that. I'm sorry.
What's your question, Wayne? What is it you need to know about towing? Right quick. You know, we'll hang on long enough for Wayne to come back and pose that question. What his specific is there, and we'll address that. But we have no trouble towing the van.
The van does a good job.
It does a good job. I'm not going to say like some would say, you don't even know it's back there. I know it's back there. Okay.
How does it pull?
How does it pull? Mm-hmm. It pulls good. You get on a grade like this, and you're going to have to, slow down and not push it so hard, but it'll take you right up the hill.
Well, you go in one speed. You can pull it down into third.
True. Well, I leave it in third. When I'm towing my trailer, of course, here again, like we said a while ago when Wayne wasn't there, evidently, all the roads we've been on since we did this last 8-week tour of Arkansas have been secondary, narrow, 2-lane roads. We were briefly on an interstate for about an hour in one of our trips, but that was it. All the other roads have been, and I'll do it over here. All the other roads have been like this, okay? Steep grades, and areas where you can't get a good run at it. So, and the van will shift down to second gear. I've only had maybe 1 or 2 occasions where it went all the way down to first. Fortunately, there was a climbing lane. I go over the side. Now, I could push it and make it go ahead and pull harder, but why? I just go ahead and back off on the throttle where I feel the engine like it's not laboring so hard, and we just go ahead and walk up the hill. I was dreading leaving the last campground that we came from because the last campground we came in, the grade, the minute you pull out of the campground, you go right straight up a narrow road, a steep grade. And I was really concerned because it was nothing but a steady pull for almost a mile, really steep. And so, but I commented to Deb when we hit it, started going up it. I said, hey, this thing's walking right up this a whole lot better than I ever thought it would. And it just went right up, no sweat, I do keep an eye on my temperature gauge, and sometimes on real long steep grades, the temperature will start to climb a little bit, and I just back off a little bit. When I got the van, I took the stock fan clutch off of it and put a heavy duty fan clutch on it, which makes the fan kick in sooner. I was doing that again. Makes the fan kick in sooner, so it starts cooling it down faster. And when you hear the fan kick on, you can just watch that temperature gauge to start to come right down. It doesn't take very long at all, and it comes right down. So we're very pleased. We love our Chevy Express 2500. We absolutely do. I got it at a good price when I bought it. I only paid $3,500 for it when I got it. Of course, I've spent money on it since I got it. I mean, that's what you got to do.
It needs some cosmetic work.
Needs a little cosmetic work.
It needs a new paint job. It needs a new headliner.
Well, it's typical.
But it runs good.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you can't even hardly hear the thing run, But it's typical of all the vans of that era, especially the white ones. The paint peels on it.
And why?
I don't know. They had some bad paint or bad primer or something
during that time. What size engine is it again? It's
the 6.0 LS motor. The 6.0 LS motor is what's in it. The gas motor. It's an 04 model. Now, and while we're talking about this, let's go ahead and talk about, and I may step on somebody's toes here, and I certainly don't want to do that, but we almost traded it here a while back for a 2018 model, or 17, and it had the 6-speed automatic transmission, which I think they call it the 6L90E. And the dealer told me to go ahead and drive it home tonight. Just go ahead and drive it home. And, of course,
we did,
and we pretty much figured that once we drove it home,
and it was nice.
Oh man, it was nice. And we figured when we drove it home that we'd just be making a deal the next morning. But I didn't like the way it shifted from second to third. It was real sluggish. You know, and I like a good firm shift. My van shifts nice and firm. Of course, it's only got 4 gears, and this had 6. So I called my mechanic who worked at a GM dealership for years. He now works out of his house, and I buy mostly GM products because he literally knows GM products frontwards and backwards, upside down, whatever. And anyway, I called him. I said, do you know much about this 6L90E? And he says, well, they came out with that after I left GM, so I don't know a whole lot about it, but I will call the transmission technician over at the dealership in Siloam Springs. He's a personal friend of mine. Well, he called the transmission tech in Siloam Springs, and I probably shouldn't have said it like that because I could get this guy fired if someone gets back to him. But the transmission tech told my friend, the mechanic, to tell me that if I buy this van, to get the extended warranty on it and always renew it. Because he said they've been having a lot of trouble with the 6L90E 6-speed transmission. And so we didn't trade. We went ahead and stuck with what we've got. And the thing about it is I can get a rebuilt transmission for this van if I needed to do that for under $2,000, and my mechanic can slide it in a day, and I'm back on, I'm back doing what I need to do. And so that's just something I'm throwing out there, and I might be upsetting some folks, and I don't mean to do that. But I do know that there have been a few minor issues with the 6-speed automatic transmission. And I'm a Chevy guy, but I'm not going to buy one with that transmission. So, there.
There we are.
There you go. I can only imagine the comments we're going to get on that later.
Maybe not.
Anything else?
No, I think we're done. We've been on an hour.
How many folks have we got on there?
69 right now.
Well, dang, I hate to leave when we got so many folks on.
Well, yeah, but...
Anybody commenting on what I just said and is mad at me because
No, not yet.
I dissed that transmission?
No, not yet.
Well,
We appreciate y'all coming and joining us this
We do.
morning. And,
We do.
Sorry we had that buffering problem at
Yeah.
the beginning. And
I'm going to call T-Mobile and give them a piece of my mind.
better not. You need all your mind you got. Can't afford to do away with a piece.
Oh, shoot. But
Great seeing y'all this morning.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
we need to go.
Yes.
Y'all take care. We will have another regular video covering the last campground we were at coming soon. And you need to be sure and watch that one because we're going to introduce you to the park attendant there, and his name is Bob. He is hilarious, and he told us a fish story, and I had him tell it to us on camera.
Yeah.
And we will be opening the video with that fish story, and you're just going to roar. You just die laughing at this. This guy is hilarious, I'm telling you. We loved our visit. He stopped by and visited us 2 or 3 times. Just had a blast.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. See y'all.
All right. Y'all take care. And this is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. And you know what we're going to say? We're not camping.
We're living.
Yeah. Y'all take care. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now. If I can get up. Find the X. There.